those hearings last week in Massachusetts were certainly salacious, but it seemed like the markets were looking right through. And you say it's all about Macau. And what really stood out to me within your note is that gross gaming revenue, the forecast overall for Macau, is now double what it had previously been, up 10% versus 5.3%. What accounts for that major revision higher?
Look, I think a number of things have happened since we visited the market, met with our contacts, talked with the companies in early March. And, those include some China stimulus, an expectation of a China trade deal. The numbers for March turned out to be way better than anyone expected. As you point out, those Massachusetts hearings are drawn to a close. And quite frankly, we think there's a number of good outcomes for Wynn that, frankly, benefit the company in the long term. And if you've seen the building and where it's located, we have very high expectations for it. But to answer your question directly about doubling our GGR expectations for the market, what we found over the years covering Macau is that when we start to raise numbers, when that market's inflecting, we never seem to quite raise them high enough. And the same is true in the other direction as well.
So when they come back, they really come back strong. You also make the point, because this had been an overhang on this sector, concessions and the fear that the Chinese government would somehow not extend some of these concessions, that MGM, SJM received a concession extension to 2022. Does that lift all boats? Is the increased traffic overall, because there are multiple properties there operating, does that outweigh the competitive force that these other properties may have on a player like Wynn?
Look, I think what we've seen in Macau over the years as new properties have come online is the addition of hotel rooms has been a critical element of bringing more visitation and bringing more revenue to that market. We've not gotten to a point where we see cannibalization from new properties entering that market. We have a bridge from Zhuhai in Hong Kong that's now open only to buses, and so it's not fully loaded in terms of bringing higher-end traffic into the market yet, and that's still to come. And so I think there's a number of other infrastructure issues coming along with the new supply, and so, frankly, cannibalization is not something we're concerned about.
The Zhuhai Bridge, how much more traffic could there be? Is there an expectation that it will open up to general traffic, for instance, by a certain time?
There is. It's been a gradual opening, and again, it's based on a licensing basis. And so far, primarily what we've had are large numbers of busing customers who tend to be lower value. Those higher value customers are still not able to use the bridge.
All right. And within the sector overall, David, what's your top pick?
Well, Wynn would jump toward our top couple as of this morning. We also happen to like regional gaming as well. El Dorado Resorts has been at the top of Jefferies' franchise pick list for quite some time and has performed quite well. But Wynn and El Dorado are probably the top two.